All right, welcome everybody to our first video lesson. Today we're going to learn how to set up our notebook. Okay, first thing you need is a composition book. Hopefully you've got one of those. And what I want you to do is just label it with your first and last name and your, actually the class title, chemistry, and then your period. So period 2 through 6. That way, in case you lose your notebook, we know where it's at. Okay. Now, as soon as you open up your notebook, we're going to create a table of contents. Okay, so you can see there, we're going to have the word standard, table of contents, and the page number. And I'll even point to this because it's a little bit more clear here. So standard at the top, table of contents, page number. You'll notice that there's a 1 here because this is the first page of your notebook. So before I even go on any further, why don't you go ahead and number the upper right hand corner of the page, of each page. Go up to like number through 10. Okay, if you get bored sometime, you can go all the way up to 100. But we only use, we should say, the right side of the notebook. Okay, in terms of writing notes. The left side we'll do something special on. So in terms of page numbers, upper right hand corner for that. Okay, so our first thing we talked about over the last couple days, class expectations and safety. Those are our first 2 days together. That starts on page 2. We'll come back to those in a second. But while we're here, let's go ahead and write in our first unit, investigation and experimentation. The standard is just IE. That's obviously an abbreviation, and that's going to start on page 7. Again, lab-based class. We're excited to jump in the lab. That's one reason why we're doing videos, is so we can spend more time in class doing more lab-based or activity-oriented things. So I trust that'll be good in the long run. Now, I should say that's our table of contents. Let's go ahead and go to the next page. Okay, and basically this page is not something you're going to have in your notebook, but basically it lays out the pages that I want. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to show you what the inside cover looks like. So just give me a second here. Okay, we're back. Hopefully you can see that on the inside cover here I put the grade tracker. So we want that up at the top part of the inside cover, because we're going to put something down here below, but that's what I mean by the inside cover. So if I'm on the webcam, I'm not sure what what view we're seeing here, but there would be the inside cover. Okay, we should be back with me now. So we've done the inside cover, the table of contents. Let's go on to page 2. Page 2 will be the syllabus. So that was given the first day of school. I want you to cut it out. Okay. So I basically put it in here like this. Cut along the edges, make sure you don't cut off anything from the back, and then you can go ahead and tape that in. So let me show you. Okay, so that's what it looks like in your notebook. I know it's kind of zoomed in, so it's kind of hard to see. Sorry about that. It might even be better if I just show it to you directly. So there's the syllabus on page 2. On page 3, let me show you this. So I'm flipping the page to page 3. Here's our safety contract. So we went over the safety rules. Hopefully you're ready, or you did well on the quiz. That will be one of the easier quizzes of the year, so hopefully you did well. But we just tape that in. Now, when you're taping things in, a quick piece of tape right here on the front and, or excuse me, at the bottom and the top, that'll get the job done. You don't need to go crazy with the tape all the way around. It's just a waste. We're just trying to hold the papers in here for future reference. I should say on the syllabus, a trick a student taught me was taping it on the side here so you can see the back. Okay, so you can kind of flip it over in case you want to review that in terms of some of those items down there. If you tape it on the side or on the top, obviously you can't see the back. It's not as useful. So I recommend doing it on the side. So that's page 3. On page 4, we have the notebook rubric. Okay, so the notebook rubric is basically lays out for you step by step what you need to do to have a good notebook grade. Basically with the notebook is I collect the notebook after every major unit and then I grade it according to this rubric. So if you look up closely at the rubric, you're looking at it, we've got updating my table of contents, for example. So if you update your table of contents, you get 3 points. Having the page numbers in the right spot in the outer top portion there gets you 2 points. updating your grade tracker. Remember, we put the grade tracker on the inside cover here. I want you to update that on a weekly basis. Either you look at my grade on the wall in the class or you look at it online. I just want you to write in, and we'll look at this more in class too. On the x-axis, we have weeks. On the y is your percent. You just write in your percent, and then you can graph it right there. That gives you a visual way of seeing your grade. That helps me know you're doing your job as a student, keeping track of your grade. In the end, everybody's going to be happier if you keep track of your grade. Okay? So the grade tracker will be worth 5 points. Title page, we'll get into that when we start our first unit. But basically, the title page is a graphic representation of what that unit's all about. So for example, I'll just kind of flip through here real quick to my title page on page 7 here. For investigation and experimentation, notice I've got lab equipment because we've learned about lab equipment. There could be safety examples, good and bad on that. We're going to be talking about measurement, so you could have examples of students measuring things or pictures of conversions, etc. So it's kind of up to you on the title page how you choose to do that. I didn't really put one on here. I'm looking at that one as kind of the example. That's okay. I mean, I give that one like maybe 5 or 6 out of 10. Put a little bit of effort in, and it will actually, just drawing the pictures, going through the information, will help you remember some of the key things. So that's kind of how our brains work. When we draw it out, we write it out, we tend to remember more. Okay? So that is the notebook title page. We're back over here on that. So now we're into the notes. So just taking the notes either from this video presentation, if I give a video, or if I do it in class, making sure you have all the notes. Again, there should be no reason not to have the notes. If you're absent, you can get the notes either online or get a copy from me. We'll make sure you get the notes, or even from another student. Okay, so get the notes that you missed. The summaries, this is where the bulk of the points will be. So summaries will be up to 30 points out of the notebook grade, so that's almost half of it. And we'll talk more about those. And then, of course, attaching problems. I like to have you attach papers. What we'll do is we'll put them on the left side. I'll go over that in class. But basically, you can see here's a clear expectation for you, what I expect from the notebook. All right? Here's the rubric for a formal lab write-up, which we'll do several of over the course of the semester. This rubric will help you with that. That should be on page number 5. And then if we're tracking, and I'll go back over here in terms of what page we're on. So we did 5. And then last but not least, the weekly test prep. Okay, this is something that I've developed over the years. I got some ideas from other teachers. But basically, let's just be honest, study skills are an essential part of your success. Okay, and one job that I want to take on is to try to help not only make you a better chemistry student, but just a better student overall. Okay, so I feel like if you can do the weekly test prep, as you look at this, these items, there's 6 items. I'm asking you to spend about 10 minutes per week doing these following items. And if you do it, you will be surprised about how much more you remember, how much more you enjoy the class, because you're prepared. Okay, one reason people get frustrated or they give up, it's too hard, is because we're not really doing our part. And you get behind, you get bogged down, and you kind of just throw your hands up and say, I quit, right? So this is going to help you keep up the speed and stay on track. Okay, so first thing on here is study skills. Did I read through my notes? And I said do this for 10 minutes. Okay, so just rereading your notes, believe it or not. So much of learning is after you've done it once. Most of us have to go over it a couple times before we actually get it. So rereading it can help make those critical connections that you didn't make the first time. You kind of get it the second time, and that's critical. Okay. Also, by rereading it, if questions come up, you've got a chance to ask before the test. Okay. If you wait to the last minute or don't do it at all, of course, that's not going to be good. Okay. Did I carefully complete and review all my summaries? Okay, so we'll talk more about that. The summaries will be basically written on the left side, but I want you to make sure you have answers for them. Yes, I do read all the summaries. I grade them by hand. It's a lot of work for me, but it helps I think, for you to kind of make sure you're tracking with the information. Okay. Reviewing your vocabulary card, so make sure you look at those at least a couple times every week. Knowing the words, and again, I try not to do too much in terms of vocab, in terms of volume. I try to keep those words to a minimal. Okay. Notice it says, do I have any questions? So do you have questions? Get those addressed immediately. Did I check my grade online and do my grade tracker? Make sure you're doing that every week. And did I complete the review sheet? That's only before a major test. Okay? So if you've got that, that's pages 1 through 6. Our next page should be page 7. This will be our title page. It's not complete yet. Here's our vocab on this side. We always want to tape our vocab in on the left side. That makes a quick reference. And again, for this first unit, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. Okay, so 7 cards you'll make. We'll talk about how to do that in class. But make sure you know the vocab. That's so important in terms of making sure we know we're all on the same wavelength and speaking the same language. Okay. Now, so that's it for this video. Good job. Hopefully you got your notebook set up and this was helpful. Again, I'll see you next time in class. Take care. Bye.